welcome. Here 2, and here 3 live. Close up, please. Welcome. Yes, we're live. Okay, I'm on 3. Good. This day, we're going to be talking about. Okay. Good. We're going to be talking about the American culture. So for me, the American culture is something that has been engraved into my experiences until now. And how the American culture engraved also in my languages. Okay, so for me, starting at around 10, this is the first time I learned English, and this is welcome everyone joining on the live. Okay, this is the first time learning English at around 10 years old. This is when I was in school, and this is when I was also in class. Okay, in class, this is when I first went to Malta. Malta is a place under Italy, and there people have multiple languages, and many speak either British type of accent if they learn it, but they also speak Maltese. That's a mix of English. That's a mix of French. That's a mix of Arabic words. That's a mix even of Italian sounding. That's very interesting to be there. And I went there to learn English, but I soon discovered that in Malta I will not learn the English that I really want from people where they natively speak it, or from the UK or from the US. And so in the beginning I really practiced UK more, UK Italian, English more. Why? Because UK was just more in Europe, and I was traveling as Italian all around the world from the age of 10 until late teens. I was active as an Italian Olympic badminton player, and I did start the Olympic qualification in 2023 to get into the spots in Paris. But with the first tournament, I soon discovered that this was not the route that I wanted to take to go into the professional athleticism in this time, in this place. And so I did change of plans. It was a quick change, but it led to many possibilities. And now I get to be here, and I'm very grateful that you joined me today. If you're live here, okay, right where you're from, okay, because today we're going to talk about the US. We're talking about the US and the cultures unpacked. If you're here, I want you to join the free chat. Okay, inside you're gonna get the inspiration to learn your language. In a free chat, you're gonna get the inspiration on what to do to first study the language, on how to first talk, on what to do to first get it started. Start the conversation before 2025. That's the promise inside of the chat. Join the chat. It's 5 days on us. 5 days on us. All right, and let's get it going. If you're here, and if you want to say hi, where you're from, and thank you for joining, everyone. We're going to continue with the US. Now, lesson 1 I've learned is that the American dream can be, at least when you speak English, I do believe that there's some sort of reason why I'm so closely connected to America. It runs in my family. So my grandma's sister, she did have a close tie to America, being a nurse in America. And so that was a very nice story that I got told once I was sitting with my grandma and with my father together on a table. We were talking about this, and it was a very nice thing. Why? Because I first went to America at around 19 years, and that was when it was, wow, I was in America. And the most mesmerizing moment for me as a European, even though I've traveled, in America it is different though. because you fly over it and you see a sort of like order. And you know the map of America, and there's like straight lines. Yes, that's the same thing when you drive over with a plane. You see the um let's get it. You see the streets are all rectangular or all parallel going. There's gonna be, and this is what the streets are then called. There's gonna be like JF Kennedy Street, and then there is Washington DC Main Street, and then these are all like streets parallel, and then there's houses over millions of houses that I was flying over, and these were all so regular and all so in the same line. That was a very special moment for me where I understood even the illumination of the lights. And when I was il momento che sono atterrata ho perso delle lacrime, cioè ho lacrimato. The moment when I landed, I was bawling my eyes out. It's the first time going to the US, and this is where I then got to visit my man, my love from the US, and it is a great and exciting journey that we have been on. We have first met thanks to language learning, and it was a very amazing trip there. The first one was really something that stayed in my mind, the way that the American food culture is, okay? And I want to soon talk about lessons I've learned in English in America, and I really want to get into it. But I treat these lessons, and by the way, this is all like a podcast type, not even. This is an interactive chat. This is unscripted. It is going live on YouTube primarily, and it's going live on those TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube as well. Okay, and this is part of the new project we're starting on January 1st, but you can already get access for 5 days for free, and it's on us. Okay, you can get access. The link is in my bio and all of the descriptions bio. And if you haven't got the link yet to join, to learn your language before in 2025, all right, then just DM me and I send you a link right away. Let's get this popping. Right, lesson number 1 I got from the US. So most US or UK natives in English, they're considered to be mostly monolingual, even though there are many heritage languages in their blood running. Okay, there's many heritage languages in their blood running, because at the end, what is the US? A whole mixing pot of whole cultures coming together. That's what I discovered when I first went there. I first ever went to the US. It was back in 2021, 2022. It was a real pleasure going from El Salvador and then going up to Florida. Oh my God, seeing Florida, seeing a way that everything, as I said, was so regulated. The streets were so straight. And then we first ate there, and there were the pancakes served, and there was the customer service. These are all little details that you get to hear, over your lifetime. You hear, that in America there is this, there's the customer service that you gotta pay extra for, and these are like little stories that are like, whoa, is it really like this? And then you finally get there and you see, yes, it is like this, or no, it wasn't like this. And for me, America was like this, that the customer service, or just in general, people tend to be a lot more into small talk and into generosity of wanting to give and wanting to share and giving value at the same time as it is just a mindset, I believe, the American type of mindset they have. And this is a very exciting thing to talk about for me. And so that was lesson 1 for me, is that even though they may be multilingual, they do connect through blood. And so you'll be surprised when you find Italians there. You'll find when you're surprised to see like features that are typical for even Europeans. And where I was at, I was in Florida, I was in Tampa, and you will see a lot of features there of like Cubano, and if you know it, then you just know, you just recognize it, and it's so beautiful. I believe that this is like a whole like mixing pot, and I get to be there, and I get to experience it as well. I get to talk to those people and learn, because honestly, through these journeys, I've learned a lot of English, and I've learned a lot of um, U.S. accents and stuff. And so that was lesson one for me. It's like the US is really a valuable place, and that it's okay to like have a small talk culture, because if I was with my South Tyrolean mindset only in the US and not trying to have small talk, it would be a very grumpy day for me. And so that's why I'm practicing. Yes, small talk. There's literal ways to have small talk and to learn small talk in a couple of days and already start conversations. It is possible in German, it's possible in Italian, è possibile in inglese, it's possible in Spanish, to learn a language for a couple of days and then be able to lead a small talk with the people that you love, with the people you want to connect with at work, or even going to the country. And now I want to go on and talk about many more things. Che livello è il tuo inglese? I'm just talking English. Oops. Let's do this. Okay. I'm so excited to do this with you guys. We're gonna go 10 more minutes for the next 2 lessons. But I treat this as like actual trainings. And so we're gonna have 2 minutes of just watching Bangkok. Watch Bangkok. Watch Bangkok. And you can have a sip and let's just get it. Okay, let's set this up for you guys. This is gonna be okay. We're gonna do better next time. I'm so happy. Let's start in 10 seconds. All right, we're back again. Welcome again. All right, we're live. I would say my English is around C2 level. I really get around and yes. So join the chat. Join the chat. Yes, join the chat. Here, let's put this on. Because yeah, so it's a little scrunchy. On top. Good. Alright, so the second lesson I've learned in the US, and it's so exciting to talk to me about, because the US really was my dream to go there. And then once I got to Florida, it was really like a really in happy moment for me. So my second lesson would be that everything can be learned, and perfection is really like the limits that you make it. Okay, so I think the US people, especially Florida, were very like conscious people, and the reason I believe this is because I got to have, just on a normal day-to-day basis, you connect to Americans and you really get to have a great talk. Oh, I'm so excited. You're one of my favorite polyglots. That's a comment on the live. Thank you. I'm very glad to hear those words. All right. So, um, thank you for the likes, guys. Thank you for the likes. Join the free chat. Okay, multilingual chat is going live January 1st, but you have access for 5 days for free. Just text to me. Text to me. Okay. So let's continue. So we were on lesson 2. Let's do this. Lesson 2. 1, 2, 3. Lesson 2 was perfection is really the limit you make it. And so, what the people I talked to were a big inspiration for me to pursue more languages and more perfection of communication and stuff. Because the people that knew the languages there mostly were very connected to the roots. Or the people that didn't know languages there did have other very good skills, you know? And so I was thinking for a long time, what are like skills? What is the meaning of like learning languages or knowing well languages well? And I soon discovered that it's all about in the communication. That is a very obvious reason. Sometimes we forget though. That is for the communication. It is for the message that we want to use the words as a tool as, and that's what really sparked in the US. And that's when I even saw like new views, and they were so mesmerizing to me when I first saw an alligator. This is like so big. This is not the small crocs that you would see in the ponds or in the zoos. Like these are very huge creatures, the alligators that they got. Or around the ponds, around the ponds, which are just like little lakes of water where there's much humidity going on, there's much insects going on. If you don't want to swim in there, you can do lots of health issues. And so, yeah, welcome to everybody. Being in the Florida was a very inspirational thing in views, but also in culture-wise. I was going out with some ladies, with the sister of my man, and she brought her 2 friends or 2 acquaintances, and we had a talk. And that even there, like you see new tastes, new flavors. And in America, it was all, I'm so excited. Oh, thanks for joining. I'm very glad to announce that soon there's going to be a collaboration with the language app. And I'm very excited to share the methods. It really worked for me, and especially in Spanish. All right, let's do it. Okay, so we were talking about the US. Yeah, and thanks for joining, and I'm very glad about the opportunity. Thanks for everyone for joining. Yes, I'm excited for so much for share videos about what is going to happen. Okay, and so in Florida, there's lots of Spanish spoken even, and the people that speak Spanish are mostly they're Dominicans and Cubans. Entonces tú escuchas mucho los acentos caribeños. Y es muy interesante y muy también ver la gente en qué facial features they got. It's interesting to see which facial features those Caribbean people that are in Florida mostly, and the way that they speak very fluent English plus very fluent Spanish. So it's not true that there's like mostly monolingual, because as we said, if it isn't in their heritage, because mostly white Americans are mostly European heritage, all of the other cultures that represent America as well, they mostly know their language pretty well. Arabs do teach their language to their children. There's no way they don't. Germans would, Italians do. At least the culture, and at least the real tips. And la ricetta di mamma, o la ricetta la receta de abuela. Los españoles, hispanohablantes siempre dan sus idiomas a los hijos. No hay manera que no dan el ritmo, no dan, ¿saben? Okay. Yeah, and that's mostly it, because in the US, even though they do speak English well, the people that immigrated, and they speak it to perfection, with accents but to perfection, so accents don't mean anything. It may be that, yes, that English either was prioritized in the household, so that the children had an opportunity in America, and they were actual mother tongue Americans and culturally and stuff. And then there's the option of at home it's going to be that language. That is a case where I'm from a lot, is where we speak German, formally and also informally, but we live in Italy. And so there's many Italian families that send their children to German speaking schools, so they get the right education for that region, the special region that we're in Italy, in South Tyrol. But there's also German families, just like I am, German speaking families with other heritage like Czech. And yes, my mom did refuse to speak her language overly for us to prioritize German and Italian and English in this world that we're living in. And I'm not mad at it. Oh, thank you so much. I'm very glad that it's interesting. Oh my God, I love sharing the stories of the languages. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining at TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. This is the Cultural Unpacked. We are on the 4th episode. We talked about Uganda, we talked about Santo Domingo, we talked about Mexico, and we talked about Denmark. Now we talked about the USA, especially Florida, because that's where my love is, and that's where my partner is from. And so we're doing this. And right now we're in Bangkok. La ciudad que ustedes ven es Bangkok. And yes, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Let's continue the lesson. So the lesson number 3, we talked about lesson number 1, which was the cultural diversity you have in the US and what it can do and how open the US is. Lesson number 2 was that really the perfection is the limit you make it, because in the US, oh my God, there was one time that my little teen world that I have created, made out of my thoughts, made out of my experience of 15 plus years of living, whatever, is that, yes, my English is already good. I was speaking like that, and I was thinking that if I know the British accent, people would think that I am an actual native. And so, but then looking back at my actual YouTube videos where I spoke that, it was kind of like not so good English. It was like a C1, but like the expressions weren't like as good, and then all of a sudden I dated an American, and after adapting more of an American accent, and that's lesson number 3. It's like I love the way that Americans have an open mind and an open opinion, okay? An open opinion. So they talk what they really think. And they have this bill, the First Amendment, which is that the right of speech, the bill of open speech. If you know better, please text it. The First Amendment is right of speech. And so they can speak whatever is on their mind. And so my man did give me this very, very constructive suggestion to go ahead and improve my English. And he said it with a very easy statement, and what really changed then the view is like maybe the clients that you want to serve, like they need another type of English. They're speaking and they want to hear another type of English, a more advanced English and a more in-depth English. And I was like, whoa, that's true. Maybe my English is good in conversation for daily use and small talk and about many other various things, but maybe my English isn't enough for actual transmitting language passions. Do you love American people? I enjoy. Oh yeah, we talked about this on my TikTok. I said that I don't date Italians. Yeah, I do. I do like American culture, but mostly I like Latino culture. Yes, and that's and also the reason why I wouldn't date Italians or whatever. Yeah, is that that I'm in a relationship, so I wouldn't date anyone but my man. Okay, and so what we're talking about in this lesson, again, number 3, we're talking about the US. Okay, and my man suggested me kindly and with whole heart and with whole serenity and whole tenderness is you should improve your English. And since then, what I've been on a quest, whenever I haven't actively studied any language, is I was on a quest to learn English and to improve my English. And that's where we're gonna, end with lesson 3 before we're going to go in the most important part of the video, the top 3 ways, to get fluent in 2025. 2025 is 1 year, and it takes me around 1 year, and it could take you around 1 year to really get good in a language. And that's why I invite you to join the multilingual chat. The link is in my bio. 5 days are on us. The first 5 days are on us. The first 5 days are on us. And in the first 5 days, the promise is to master the basics of the language fluently and be able to start a conversation and to hold a conversation with natives. That was it. Thank you so much for joining. Oh my god, I'm so excited to do this with you guys, and I'm going to go down. There's gonna be another live this week, which is tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, every single day, guys, because this is a whole cultures unpacked. Today was USA, yesterday was Mexico. Tomorrow, what is it gonna be? Write it in the comments and see if you were right. Thank you so much. I'm gonna make a 30-second dedicated. I'm gonna wait until you guys are off first, and so I will end it there. Okay, you guys are off. I'm gonna say bye-bye. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, I'm gonna start with Instagram. Thank you so much for joining Instagram. I'm so happy that I found the Instagram community there. At I am Katharina Fink on Instagram. Okay, if you want to join me there, I am Katharina Fink, and I'm so glad I got to first discover it and through Chinese, and I shared my Chinese, and many people were interested in my Chinese language journey, and now I share about my whole 7 language journeys, and this is so inspiring and to see how much growth can be happening. So I'm gonna go bye Instagram, and we are officially off, and thank you so much for all of the Instagrammers. Let's do this. This is gonna be off as well. Okay, and now we're gonna go on with YouTube. Okay, YouTube is a platform that is, oh my god, I love all of the topics that are on there, and I love to share it. It's so beautiful, non-judgmental, and very long and profound videos are the best ones to make, just like this one. And that's why my original thought was to have this YouTube podcast series, Cultures Unpacked, where we're on right now talking to about USA, but also talking about other cultures. We talked about the USA culture today, we talked about Mexican culture yesterday, and we will talk about what culture tomorrow. I don't know. It's always on the sunrise. Okay, so this is this time around. If you want to be on tomorrow, it's gonna be tomorrow. Okay, before we get off, there's 1 people YouTube, 6 people on TikTok. Where's the likes? Okay, we need at least 100 more likes. So everyone 10 times tapping on the screen. Thank you so much. It's helping me out. Thank you, YouTube, for being here for me. And we're going to get off. You've been putting out a lot of good content recently. Fun to see a little behind the scenes from here. Yeah, that's what it is. In YouTube, you see like the whole setup. But this is already off, so let's see. Okay, this is. Okay, let's not do this now. Okay, good. Thank you so much for joining. Oh my god. And thank you. Okay, finalizar transmisión. All right, now it's only